Welcome to this year's Vision Night. My goal for this video is to help recap 2022, but also cast vision for 2023 and what we believe God is going to do in Radiant Youth and in Radiant Church this year. You don't even know how pumped I am to unpack the new word of the year and also share some exciting news. But before we look ahead, let's start by looking back at all God did this past year. Take a look. I know it's nice to look back at all the fun that we had in 2022, but more importantly, we saw an incredible move of God this past year. In 2022 alone, we saw 51 students give their life to Jesus for the first time, 67 students rededicate their life back to Jesus. We also had over 25 stories of physical healing from our youth group. But it doesn't stop there. In 2022, we gave over $22,000 to Speed the Light. I'm telling you, God is on the move. Jesus is truly changing lives at our church and in our youth group. Now, let's hear from a few of our students about how God has changed their lives because of youth.
The biggest way that youth has affected my life is I just have so much more joy in my life. I am genuinely happy, and my life wasn't like that last year. Not good. But then Kayla invited me to youth with her and Kendall, and it literally changed my life.
Youth has affected my life because I have strengthened my faith and met so many new people, and it's just such a welcoming place.
Before I came to Radiant back about a year and a half ago, I was very involved with church, and I still went to my own youth group and I was active in that. But ever since I was invited here by Noah, I feel like that's just changed my way of life. I feel like I've been more social and more confident in my faith. And this church has really been a better social environment for me. It's gotten me more comfortable with the people around me and just has allowed me to open up better, I think, and just be more confident in my faith, which is awesome.
I think youth has really helped me strengthen my relationship with God, because I had one before, but now I feel so confident in it, and I feel so much more confident in what God has planned for me, and my mental health has improved because I'm so much less worried because I know God's got it covered.
Most of my friends come from church because I'm homeschooled and I don't get to see much people or socialize that much. And I get to come here and then I get to spend time with friends, I get to spend time with Jesus, I spend time worshiping, and it's just awesome. And Wednesday is my favorite day of the week.
My first time at youth was really emotional for me, just because we got those little slips of paper that say, "What are you waiting for?" And we all separated and we went and prayed, and I had a vision. I saw God, and I felt him putting his hands down on me saying, "It's okay, you're here for a reason." And ever since then, it's just I'm so much lighter on my feet. I'm not sad all the time, I'm happy, and I'm willing to talk about my relationship with God all the time.
I came to youth starting last summer with Kayla, or this past summer, and during an altar call, I was up in the front and I was next to Avalon, and my heart started beating so fast, and how it always used to, and I didn't do anything about it. I was just glued to my spot, and I just had these tears coming on, and I was panicking on the inside, and Avalon turned to me and said, "Do you need to go back there?" And I just started immediately bawling, and she put her hand on my back and she walked me to the back to talk to someone, and it was so amazing. Like, I felt like I had a veil like lifted from blocking my relationship with God.
A God moment for me was in El Salvador praying for Pastor Daisy. I think just in general this year, I've really learned how to pray for not just sounding like what I know what I'm talking about, but Jesus really speaks to me and can be like, this person needs to pray for that thing and stuff like that. So when I saw Pastor Daisy limping and I had that feeling I wanted to pray for her and she ended up getting healed was something I'm not gonna forget.
Well, my favorite part of youth is like, it's probably, there's a lot of things. This is a difficult question. It's probably all the friends that I didn't know I had, and it's like giant family, and we pick on each other, but I mean, doesn't every family?
Yes. At my old church, yeah, I would listen to God and I would get in His Word every week. But when I came to Radiant, I just felt God kind of calling me to every action I took in my life, and I could just feel God almost telling me that I had a place in this youth group and that I could influence others more at this youth group than I could at my old church, which I still go to on Sundays, but on Wednesdays I like to come here. It's my midweek just refreshing like feeling that I can influence others and bring others to know God.
Over 2 years ago, we announced our first word of the year, and that was community. Our goal was, and still is, that Radiant Youth would be one of the most inviting and welcoming places that any student could attend. That Radiant Youth would be a place where you truly belong. Doesn't matter what baggage you bring into our church, you are always welcome. This past year, our word of the year was unity. In Psalm 133:1, it says, "How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity." And this year we learned that unity doesn't mean that we all necessarily think and look alike, but it means that despite all of our differences as believers, we are all united under one name, and that is Jesus. And this past year, we also saw a dream become a reality with the event United Invite, bringing churches and youth groups together from all over Cedar Rapids and Eastern Iowa. And tonight, I'm pleased to announce that we will be having United Invite again this summer. Well, now that it's 2023, it's time to unpack a new word of the year, a new word to focus on for our ministry. So drum roll, please. I'm excited that our word of the year for 2023 is reach. See, the reality is that you and me walk by people who don't know Jesus every day. Cedar Rapids is known for being one of the most spiritually lost cities in the country. Doesn't that bother you? Don't you want to do something about it? See, the Apostle Paul writes in Romans 15:7, reach out and welcome one another to God's glory. Jesus did it, now you do it. This is the year that I believe we as the church and you as the next generation are called to reach those who desperately need Jesus. This year, get ready to be challenged to reach out to those at your school, to your work, to your city, and to this world.